Alright, good afternoon guys, Dane here from Clarkey's NRL column, here to bring my tipping video, which has sort of chopped and changed a little bit through 2019. First year I've really done this, so finding little things out as I go. What I did find out last week was you guys preferred the live format. So you'll see if you're watching by video now, I have gone through and got some images of all the games. And if you're listening on audio, obviously you won't know that. But what I'll do for on screen, I'll just bring up the game I'm going to talk about. I've got my phone in front of me, and I'll sort of react live and give my tips as we go. So first game now, Sharks versus Cowboys. I'm looking at PointsBet, and I'm going to say that is a genuine home ground advantage, given the Sharks for the last month have scored more tries than their opponents, but gone on to lose 4 weeks in a row. Probably a first in rugby league, to be honest. And I can see Michael Morgan has not been named even in the extended side, so no chance he plays there. Look, the Sharks have been so close in recent weeks. Going through their sides now, it's great to see Dugan back at fullback there. I'm going to have to tip the Sharkies here, guys. They have been building towards something the last couple of weeks, but just unable to fully execute. And I do feel a Cowboys side that is without Michael Morgan will sort of struggle to play consistent, finish their sets, get their kicking game absolutely superb as they would with Michael there. Obviously, the argument is they did it against the Roosters, but I would more so put that down to a very poor performance in the Roosters as opposed to the Cowboys playing spectacular. Can Jake Clifford do it? Absolutely. Am I still going to tip the Sharks? Yeah, I'm going to have to. Look, they've been so close the last few weeks. I think they win this one at home in front of their home fans by 10 points. Knights versus the Tigers. Look, without even really looking at the team sides here, guys, I can tell you right now, my tip will be the Knights at home at McDonald Jones Stadium. Mitchell Pearce this year has really developed as a leader, and he's really implementing his game as the captain of this side. And I do feel that after a humiliating loss to the Roosters last week, he will have this side raring and ready to go. Kalen Ponga at fullback, Mitchell Pearce there, David Klemmer up front. It's a very obviously strong side, and as I can see, the Tigers are at full strength also. But despite that, I just think with what happened last year at the Knights and for what they're trying to build at the club there, I think they'll be a little bit too much for the Tigers. Won't be completely surprised if Tigers win. They do need to win here to keep their season alive and stay within reach of that top 8. But ultimately, guys, I'm going to have to tip the Knights here by 6 points. Rabbitohs versus the Dragons. Now, this game is a write-off, guys. I'm going to tip the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Winning is a habit in rugby league, just like losing is. The Rabbitohs began the habit of winning again last week. And I think at this stage of the season, under Wayne Bennett with a almost full strength spine, besides fullback there, they start to kick on with the game. Sam Burgess and Tom Burgess both named in reserves. If they step into that side, obviously that could be devastating for the Dragons. Look, Gareth Widdop's back for the Dragons. But again, I remember at the start of the year, guys, specifically, there was a problem in their playmaking ranks with Widdop, Norman, and Hunt there. Particularly in the fact there was too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. And I do feel that will disrupt them a little bit, although Gareth Widdop is a phenomenal player. Also, I've got my question marks of Corey Norman under the high ball, particularly when we know he'll be targeted by Adam Reynolds' kicking game, which is super superb. Dragons definitely have the better forward pack, guys, but I just can't see them turning their season around. Ultimately, I'm going to have to tip the Rabbitohs here. I think they win by at least 12 points. Eels versus Warriors. I reckon this game is a lot more closer than the market has it here. The market has the Eels as a $1.56 chance, Warriors $2.37. Two inconsistent sides. And when you have two inconsistent sides verse, anything can happen. And it makes it very hard to sit here and tip for you guys. But look, Bankwest Stadium, how good have the Eels been all year out of Bankwest? And Wonga Blake is going to make his club debut, which is huge for them. David Fusatua still out for the Warriors. I think the Eels get back on track here I think the Warriors will be right up for this one, but Bankwest Stadium is a fortress for the Eels. Both inconsistent sides, as I've said. All that said, I'm going to tip the Eels here in a close one. I'm going to tip the Eels to win by 2 points. Titans versus Broncos now. Of course, you guys know who I'd like to tip here realistically. And I'm trying to bring myself to do it right now, but I just don't think I can. I'm going to have to play it safe here and tip the Brisbane Broncos. Callum Watkins makes his club debut for the Titans, which is exciting. And AJ Brimson, he's a little cheeky bugger. Just did an interview with him earlier today. You will see that later tonight around 6 p.m. And I said, you prefer playing at fullback or halves? He goes, I don't mind playing in the halves. He's named at halfback this week, so that's obviously good for him and good for the club. I do like him in the halves. I like him at fullback also, but ultimately I just think the Broncos will have a little bit too much class. The Titans are a struggling side. We have been all year. I would love to see us turning around, and we showed good signs against the Storm. So this is probably the best chance of a game we have to win, but I'm going to have to play it safe. I'm going to tip the Broncos by 4 points. Storm versus Sea Eagles. Now, this is a really hard one to tip because both these teams are flying and in great form. Vunivalu on the picture there, I thought he was suspended. He is. Shandor Earl into the side. Look, if this was at Lotto Land, I would genuinely think I would tip the Sea Eagles. I genuinely think I would, but just Amy Park. It is such a fortress. It is the hardest ground to travel to and get a win. And they're also up against the best team, the Melbourne Storm, who really will not want to be letting up this late in the season. So I'm going to have to tip the Storm, guys. But I think the Sea Eagles will be right up for it and prove that they will be contenders. Let's go Storm by 4 points. Bulldogs and the Roosters. This will, in my opinion here, this is just going to be an absolute slaughter. I can't see any scenario where the Bulldogs come out on top here. I'm sorry. As I said, in rugby league, winning is a habit, and so is losing. Bulldogs welcome a few big names back. Garrett Holland. I'm hearing Kieran Foran will definitely be there also. And, of course, Lockie Lewis. That's another big one. But, guys, don't mistake yourself here. Roosters will win this one quite easily. I'm going to tip the Sydney Roosters by 14 points. And the Sunday 4 p.m. game, which I got mixed around the wrong way there, sorry. Raiders versus the Panthers at Panthers Stadium. Now, honestly, guys, tell me in the comments, how do you tip this? Because one team is a top 4 side that just looks better every week, and the other team is on an 8-game win streak or a 7-game win streak, a big win streak. I'm going to go with the Panthers just. This is going to come right down to the wire, I believe. I'm going to tip James Maloney to kick the field goal and Panthers to win by 1 point. But I wouldn't be surprised if that result was reversed. So just quickly, guys, my tips for the round. I'm tipping the Sharkies. I'm tipping the Knights. I'm tipping the Rabbitohs. I'm tipping the Eels. I'm tipping the Broncos, the Melbourne Storm, the Penrith Panthers, and the Sydney Roosters, guys. They are my tips. If you want to share yours with me in the comments, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, please feel free to do so. And thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate the support as always. And I'll see you guys soon for another video. Cheers.